Okay, so now that we have our search bar styled out and looking good, what we need to do is we need to connect that with the store card so that when we type into the inputs, that it will filter out the relevant stores nearby. What I am going to do is use the useState hook. What it does is it preserves a value within the functional component. So what I want is to define that. So if I name it search, and set search. So search will be the initial value, and then set search is when I change something. I want to update the search value. So if I set search, essentially the new value will take over the old value. So if I give it a use state of an empty string for now, I also need to import use state from React. Now with the input, I want to give it a value which is equal to the search. So at the minute, the value is empty and the value is empty also here. If I was to give it a value of hello, now the updated value or the value saved in state would now be hello. So initially, what we want to keep it as is empty. So if I save back, so now what we have done is we have connected a value within state and we have added that to the input container. What I want to do is when I type, nothing happens. So what we would need to do is update the state when we type in the input field. So the way to do that is we need to add an onChange event, which would take an event, and what that would do is it would return an event. So if I just put in E for now and I console log what E returns, if I now save and go into my console, what you're going to see is if I type in hello, I am now getting events back on my console. So if I now go into the console, as you can see, the type is change and the target is the input. So if I go into the target, I now have this drop down here. And what I want to update in my target is this value here. At the minute, it is nothing. So if I console log e dot target dot value and save, what will happen is at the bottom of my console, if I now type in hello, what it does is it logs out each character that I type into the input field. So now what I want to do essentially is I want to update the search value. So instead of me console logging, I want to now, each time I type in, I want to copy the set search and call that so that when we change the target value of the event, the search value will now change. So now if I save, and now I should be able to type in hello like so. And to test that this works, if I console log the search value and save, the value is now hello. If I was to delete characters, it does update like so, and if I typed hello again, it updates. So now that the input search field is updating its value, what we need to do is we need to connect it to the store card. So the way to connect the value to the store card is when we access our store results and when we map, we also want to filter, which is the same functionality as a map, but instead we're going to filter. So if I use a $ for this one, which returns, so for each item, if I change this to item, and then if the item dot name dot includes, so what we're saying essentially is if the item dot name, which is equivalent to the store dot name in this example here, includes the value of the search input, then we want to filter out the name. So in this case, if it includes the search value, then that will first off filter out the names and then map out the rest of the store cards. So if I save now and then test this out, so cam done. As you can see, it's updating in the console, but there is a slight issue here. So if I type in the capital C, like so, then the name would return. So to fix this is quite simple. What we just need to do is before the includes check, we just want to use the JavaScript method to lower case, like so, and save. So now if I type Camden in lowercase, it would filter. If I typed in local, it now filters. So now we have a fully functioning left side of our location page. So this side here. So on the next video, we're going to start using the right side and building out the map container.